Hello everyone and welcome back to the Leetcode Gray. Today we have 1122 relative sort array. It says here that we're given two arrays R1 and R2 where the elements of R2 are distinct and all the elements of R2 which are distinct are also in R1. Sort the elements of R1 such that the relative ordering of items in R1 are the same as in R2. Elements that do not appear in R2 should be placed at the end of R1 in ascending order. So we're given these two arrays, and it looks like the second one is distinct, and every element in the second array is in R1, but not necessarily in reverse. Not all elements in R1 are necessarily in R2. So whichever elements are in R2 from R1 for that order and for that many counts appearing in R1, so once again in the order that they appear in R2, for the frequency that they appear in R1, we add those to our result array. And as we see here, this is 214396, where your output is 214396. 2 appears 3 times. We insert it that many times. 1 appears once, such and such. And then those two numbers that do not appear in R2, we put at the end of our R1 in ascending order. Okay, and so we can do this simply. The one thing is we will be building our output array. Kind of hints as if we're supposed to do this somehow in place within R1, but it doesn't say that it has to be in place. It is an easy problem, so I don't think that expectation would be appropriate. So let's not overthink this and let's proceed. All right, guys, so there's basically three components. Well, there's the first one, which is where now the order matters in R2 and the frequency matters in R1. So let's first get the counts from R1. And we're ultimately building a result array. And there's two things that we need to do. First, we need to insert into our results every number in the order that they appear in R2 for the frequency that they appear in R1. And the easiest way we can do that is just to iterate R2, which will naturally iterate in the order that they appear in R2. And we're going to extend our output array with this array, which is the num that we're iterating times the frequency of that num found in R1. And once we do that, we can say, you know what, we've processed this. We don't want to worry about it next time, so let's remove it entirely. And that also helps us in our second loop where now we've added all the numbers in the second array into our result array for however many times they appear in the first array. Okay, good. Now we've exhausted all the numbers in R2, and now we have numbers that are not in R2. And we need to add those to the result array in sorted or in ascending order. And the easiest way to do that is to still iterate the remaining nums, which we can get by just iterating counts because all the nums that were already processed have been deleted. So for num in counts.t, but remember, we want to do it in ascending order. So we can just say sorted. And then the rest is pretty much the same. We just that extend that num times however many times it appears in R1. And at the end of that, just return it. Let's give that a go. And submit. There you have it. Once again, we have 1122 relative sort array. Thanks so much. Happy coding. See you next time.